I'm Julie with Visit Myrtle Beach. Very excited to be here today with Butch Patrick. Now you probably know him off the top of your head as Eddie from the Munsters, but he was a child actor before the Munsters and has done so many different series after. The Monkeys, Bonanza, Shazam, were you on Shazam?
I did Shazam, did a lot of westerns.
Yeah. Lots of westerns. So you were a very, very busy actor.
I was. In a 14-year period, I put together about 75 guest starring roles in 4 series and 27 movies and a ton of commercials, cereal commercials and all this stuff. But I was very busy for 15 years, yeah.
Yes, you were.
I was a child actor from 1960 to 1974. It was definitely temporary for me. I never wanted a career in the business, but I fell into it and it came naturally. And I thought it would be a good way to finance my hopefully race car driving career someday, which never really occurred, but that was my purpose.
Right. Well, you love cars,
Yep.
and it just so happens that here in Myrtle Beach we had the Run to the Sun car show very recently, where I got to meet you, and you had the Munster coach there. That was so cool. But you love cars, right? So it's a really great event for you to do.
Yeah, I got very, very lucky doing the Munsters for several reasons. Number one, it was a very popular show. Still is. Not a lot of shows have the staying power, 57 years worth. Number two, we had the best TV cars ever on television by George Barris, who was built, the Munster coach and the Dragula, which, as you mentioned, the Munster coach was with me. And I'm allowed really as an adult to go around, hang around hot rodders, do things that I enjoy, and meet fans from a show that has family values from the 60s that everybody still loves.
I think it's great. I mean, I grew up watching the show. My kids watched the show. And I was watching people at the car show come up to you like, it's amazing the age range of fans that you still have. I think it's terrific.
It's funny, the memories that people come up and share with me. It's actually the name of my book was called Munster Memories, and it wrote itself because all I had to do was share the stories that so many people came up with these big smiling faces, and I have this extended family of people I never knew because the Munsters was part of their family ritual. I mean, they all watched the show together, like a lot of other shows from the 60s.
Right.
But for some reason, the car shows, it really resonates well because of the nature of the Munster coach and the Dragula.
Right, and it had the phone in it.
We had
Right?
we had the first car phone, yeah.
Isn't that way ahead of your time?
Way ahead,
All right,
yeah.
now I have a question. The stairway that popped up, and you
Yep.
have to sometimes come in and out of there. What was under there? It was just stage, just like a space?
That was Spot's lair. That was our dragon Spot.
Was there like
lived
a
there.
nest in there? Like what was really?
Well, one of the things that is interesting about the Munsters, it was shot at Universal Studios, and Universal was known as the Monster Studio. Back in the 40s and 50s, each studio would have sort of a Hallmark type of show. MGM did musicals, 20th Century Fox did disaster movies. Well, the Munsters were at Universal. So what they did is they took all that knowledge that they had and all the sets that they had and applied them to the Munsters, so it worked out really well.
It was such an entertaining show, and like you said, had such great family values.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have seen the clip that goes viral on Facebook all the time about Herman's telling Eddie,
Yes.
About just being yourself.
That's right. It's not what you look like. If you be tall or
Exactly.
short. It does. It gets hundreds of millions of views. Resonates well today.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.
I love it. Now, Eddie was supposedly a werewolf, but looked a little bit like a vampire. What was that about?
Well, it was creative license.
I know, it was
creative
awesome.
license. They already had 2 vampires in the family, so
Right.
a werewolf was needed.
Well, some of that was going to get in your genes. Obviously, that makes sense to
Yeah,
me. But no, it's
absolutely.
an amazing show. But when I found out you were coming, I did a little research, and I was floored to realize that you were the kid in Lidsville, right? The name of the show.
That's right.
I cannot tell you how many times I've thought of that show in my life for some reason, because it was kind of spooky to me. So this is a show, Sid and Marty Krofft show that came after H.R. Puffin stuff.
Yes, Puffin
right?
stuff, then the Bugaloos,
So-
then Lidsville, yes.
Yeah, so for viewers, it's the show from the early 70s where the kid's at Six Flags and there's a magician and the kid sneaks into the studio after, the hat grows big, the kid falls in the hat and then he gets stuck in Lidsville and there's a He falls. How did you do that? Did they put you on a rope or something? I was
No,
watching
they
this
had we had chroma key, which was a very new technology at the time, where you could superimpose things, and you laid and they spun you around, and then they superimposed you onto a.
So were you like on the ground and they like?
I was on a
moving your-
turntable.
A turntable.
Yeah.
I mean the effects, right? It's the early
yeah,
70s
yeah.
on TV, and they were. It's just really fun to watch because I just rewatched it recently. Like I said when I heard you were coming, but I love that show, and it stuck with me. I think because it was a little bit scary for kids, you know, because you're stuck there and there's a bad guy.
Yeah.
It really stuck with me, and I don't know if I ever made the connection. Of course, I was really young when it came out, but I was so psyched to see that was actually you, and then you were kind of like on the teen idol fringe right there, getting into that. And I've seen your interviews where you've kind of joked about that, but
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing yourself on a magazine at the Ralph's Market with a bunch of 12-year-old little girls opening to your page, and they look up and they see you and they go, oh no.
I
But
know.
yes, everybody should be a bubblegum star or a teenage heartthrob for a year.
yeah, that must have been a lot of fun. Was it fun?
It was a good time.
That's good, and it led you to, you know, now you have this lifestyle where you can kind of do what you want and go
Yeah.
to car shows and have fun things to do.
You know, I was lucky. I did a lot of work, but I did some interesting shows. They were not just all run of the mill. I was lucky enough to do the Monkees Christmas episode,
Right.
which was like my favorite top-notch thing. I did Chuck Jones's only feature film with all the voiceover actors that Chuck Jones gathered, called the Phantom Toll Booth. Then I did the Munsters. I did the Real McCoys. I did a lot of My Three Sons. I was like Lidsville, as you mentioned. So I did some interesting stuff in between normal, you know, regular humdrum stuff.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and I'm glad that you're doing what you love. You've kind of combined those things so you can still
I'm very
do
lucky
the car
that-
things. Yeah, that's
No,
wonderful.
I mean, I'm really, really lucky, and I never take it for granted because, you know, people say sometimes, don't you ever get tired of doing that? And I go, no, but I'm not going to try to equate it to like a McCartney, but I don't think he ever gets tired of singing the songs that he loves to people that love it, because there's feedback, and it's like me one-on-one with people at a table, sharing a positive moment in their life and sharing positive memories. It just, you know, it just makes you feel good. And how many people get to do that, you know?
Right. Well, very few, but it does mean a lot to fans.
Exactly.
To meet you, and as long as you keep that in mind, it
That's
can be
why I always try to
rewarding, yeah.
accommodate them. That's my front and foremost. I always try to assume they don't know this is the first time they've interacted with me, and then sometimes they get a little starstruck, and I always try to turn it around and ask them questions about themselves and
Yeah.
put them at ease to make it an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, nice. Okay, now it's time for the lightning round. Are you ready? Beverly Owen or Yvonne DiCarlo?
Beverly Owen.
All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue,
Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Yes. What color are my eyes?
Excuse me?
What color are my eyes?
Oh, your eyes are blue, I think.
Yeah, your eyes are blue too. How many miles of beach do we have in the Grand Strand?
40.
60.
Okay.
You were pretty close
Okay.
though. Ginger or Marianne?
Oh, Marianne.
Were Sid and Marty Krofft stoners?
I personally never saw them, but I would assume they had to be.
Those shows,
Yeah.
right?
I think Sid was. I think Marty was more of the businessman. Sid was the creative. And the funniest part about that was I used to get my check signed by Harry Krofft. And you
Really?
there was a brother who was in the banking business that
No
was never
kidding.
heard from except when the money came around.
They were so creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And looking back at those shows, it's no wonder they still have a cult following. Interesting. What's your favorite type of car? Do you have a favorite?
Well, muscle cars, but my 69 Mach 1 is still probably my favorite all-time car, but I had a very nice Corvette too, so Mach 1s and Corvettes.
Yeah, that sounds great. Tell me what you love about Myrtle Beach. I talked to you earlier, and you said that you've been here several times and you really like it.
I have. My escape room builder actually has a business here, and I came to visit him when I was doing that, and then a couple of friends live here. I came down to visit them. I'm not much of a golfer, but I know there's a lot of golf going on
Yeah,
here.
there are.
And I think you've got more miniature golf courses than anywhere in the world, I believe.
Mini golf capital of the world. Yes,
But
thank
what
you.
I like about it mostly is I just like anything to do with the ocean, and I like the wildlife, and I also like you got a lot of cool little mini racetracks to go karting.
We do. Do you like to do that?
I did them both. Yeah, last
Oh,
time I
that's
was here,
fun.
I did a couple of them. Yeah.
Now you said you have an escape room builder, so is that something that
Yeah, it's
you're an investor in?
Little Spider Creations. Right now they're at the Trans World Show, which is the big Halloween convention in St. Louis. And yeah, they build my stuff. I'm actually going to be working with another theme park called Indiana Beach, where I'm going to be the on-site celebrity special promotions marketing director to bring in old 60s acts and stuff like that, and 60s TV shows, and they'll be building me some stuff. So yeah.
That's really cool. You
Yeah.
stay really busy.
I'm very happy about it. This is a dream come true for me because it allows me to tap into all my Rolodex, you know, all my friends and musical friends and TV friends, and I've always had some ideas anyway, and to be able to utilize all my talents on a 400-acre medium-sized theme park like Lidsville, you know, not quite Six Flags,
Right.
but it's definitely, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be wonderful.
And where is it again?
It's called Indiana Beach. It's an hour north of Indianapolis on Lake Schaefer,
Lake Schaefer.
96-year-old theme park.
Did you get a chance to go to the beach at all? Walk the beach, check out the waves?
I did not as of yet, but the last time I was here, last October, the gentleman put me right up on the beach. Beautiful house. We walked the beach. It was beautiful. That's probably, you know, one of the reasons I like it so much here is the people have been so nice and so hospitable, and you got beautiful beaches.
We do, and we do have that southern hospitality.
Yep.
Even though Myrtle Beach is a hodgepodge of people, it's a melting pot. There's people from all cultures here,
Yeah.
and we really enjoy that aspect too, because everyone's welcome at the beach.
Yeah, you got whatever you're doing, keep it up because it's a great place and it's noticeably nice and hospitable. I mean, it's something you can actually feel. And the southern hospitality, you know, you can't go wrong.
No, you really can't. And have you tried some fresh seafood? Do you like? Are you a seafood lover?
Oh, absolutely.
No, you grew up in California. You probably got a lot.
Yeah, but this seafood over. I used to live in Florida and stuff, and I lived in Atlanta. But here on the ocean, I gravitate towards the ocean. So, yeah, I have tried it. It's good.
That's good. Well, we really appreciate your time. It was really great to meet you. I just love, like I said, watching you interact with the fans at the car show. We really appreciate you coming to Myrtle Beach.
Can I mention one thing?
You bet.
Anything you want to know about everything, I got YouTube channels. I'm not going to go down the list. Just go to munsters.com.
Munsters.com.
Don't even have to write it down.
Well, I went there myself to do a little research. There's a
Oh.
lot of interesting stuff on there.
Thank
And
you.
wait, you were doing a kind of like on the road YouTube channel.
Yes, it was called Coast to Coast.
Coast to
I had to
Coast.
stop right before pandemic came in, and now I have a new one that encompasses everything because Rob Zombie has a new Munsters movie coming out.
Right.
PG, it's going to be great, and he's going to be my first interview for all things Munster.
That is great.
Yeah, thank
And do
you.
you still do shows with you know, celebrities from the 70s shows?
Oh,
or
yeah. Oh,
Sid and
that's-
Marty Krofft
Yeah.
era shows?
Yeah, and the one thing I stopped, I just don't go on auditions anymore, but I occasionally do some independent movies. I meet up with people, conventions, the circuit, all of the above, and that's what I'm planning on doing, recreating, like, for instance, they used to have a ballroom where everybody played at Indiana Beach. Well, I'm going to do a once-a-month thing like American Bandstand Revisited from the old days.
Nice.
And I'm working with Classic Reruns TV, which is a new channel where we're going to be doing some stuff similar to that as well,
That's great. And when are you going to come back to Myrtle Beach?
as soon as possible.
That was such a good answer. It was really wonderful to meet you. Thanks for your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Julie.
All right.